there, fellow marketers. Are you wanting to make sure that the influencers you're working with are going to make good content for you? Well, today we're going to talk about how you can, how would I say this? Check for content quality in your sponsored posts. So the first thing you need to do is when you're looking to work with influencers, look at what they've done before. How well do they promote the products or services they've worked with before? Like when they're doing something, did they do a good job of explaining the value proposition of the product or what made that product so special, why it's great for their audience, why it really works for them, why it fits in with their niche? Did they do that? Or was it more like a total break and something completely different? Like, wait, you just mentioned my product. You said, oh yes, here's orange pen, and then you didn't say anything about the orange pen and how it writes upside down and backwards and in blue and black and purple and green. No, you didn't say any of those things. And so you start to see that, hey, they're not actually promoting their product, they're just putting it there, right? So that can help you see, and that's why it's important to kind of start with that. Can they actually promote in their influencer marketing? And another thing I think is really important, hey, can they integrate our brand partnership with their content? And is it like that seamless integration where you really can't tell the difference between the integration, the sponsored content, and the real content? I mean, one of my favorite ones, Bistro Huddy, find them on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, they're hilarious. And it's this one guy who plays all the different people that work in a restaurant. And their sponsored content is perfect because you don't even realize it's there. They'll be having a thing where the waiters are fighting over like their schedules, and then it'll be about a scheduling service we'll use. Like, wait, our schedules are actually all working right now. Oh yeah, because I use Schedule Hub, blah, blah, blah. And you see, it's like, wow, it integrated perfectly in there. And like, oh yeah, and if you like, go to scheduleblah.com/BistroHuddy to get a deal. You're like, wow, that is a perfect integration. And you couldn't tell the difference between the sponsored stuff and the real content in general, because sometimes you'll see where there's actually a whole video or a whole post that's just about a sponsored thing, and you want to make sure that kind of fits, and it didn't even seem like it was something different. So that seamless integration is very important. But also when we're looking at these things, you want to kind of think about is, does the sponsored content match up with their regular content quality? Now, Bistro Huddy does a fantastic job, but also think about it within the ad. Have you ever noticed, like, there'll be like a video you're watching and then they go to their ad part and you can tell it's the ad because, oh, I'm here in the Bahamas talking about this. And then the next thing you know, I'm sitting in a bathroom someplace going, yes, this is a fantastic toilet product you should have. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not even the same audio quality. Like the audio drops down. I mean, this is one thing I see on a lot of the sports podcasts, or they do their podcast and they'll throw their ad in the middle, and you're like, or their sponsor thing in the middle, and you're like, oh, the audio's off. It seems so weird. No, you want to make sure they've got it so it kind of fits up too. That way, like technically speaking, but also visually speaking as well. Because if they have it like it's so disjointed, that can throw people off. And that's why it's really important to look for that kind of authentic execution, not just a disjointed ad, but they truly integrate things into it so it flows smoothly. And if it doesn't work, well, it's not going to work as well for you because it probably didn't work well for that brand either that worked with them previously. Now, I know a lot of these are very similar to what I'm talking about, but I think it's really important to like really hit on some of these things, but also compare their sponsored, content to their traditional content. And does it have like the same overall quality level, right? We've talked about that, but does it have the same overall energy level? Like, does it have the same vibe? Because if it has a totally different vibe, it kind of turns people off. It's kind of like, a lot of people will have like their ads in there, but they'll have it like, for example, when they have like, they're selling like a game, like, oh, and we're talking about something like, oh yes. And then while I'm waiting for the plane, I like to play this video game. I do it all the time. And you're like, wait, what? Like that vibe's kind of silly, but like sometimes like, oh yeah, and here's another thing you should try because I love this cereal. I take this cereal everywhere when I travel. This is the greatest cereal ever. You're like, yeah, I don't feel that that's the greatest cereal ever. I feel like you're just saying that, right? That's why one of the things you got to think about with your sponsored content is give the influencer free reign to get your points across, because if they just do the script you had before, then it just sounds like a commercial, and that doesn't work as well, all right? Now, other things I want you to kind of think about when you're kind of looking at the sponsored quality check kind of thing is realize it's not just about followers. Yes, it would be fantastic to be on Mr. Beast with his hundreds of millions of followers and his billions of views, but does that really fit with what you want? And does Mr. Beast reply back to everybody on there? No, it's impossible for the number of comments that he gets. It doesn't work that way. So sometimes it's better to get a smaller influencer or someone out there that can be more impactful, because just because you have a lot of followers doesn't mean you have a lot of influence. And so Mr. Beast with his millions and millions of followers might not get people to go to the Bahamas for vacation because they watch him for entertainment, but they might watch a different travel influencer to get them to go places, right? So you want to kind of make sure you kind of link up on those things, because also if you're looking at in terms of that niche, if it's a niche that's specific for your industry, those influencers that focus on that niche are going to be much more impactful than just bigger creators overall. Also, if you're working with smaller creators, you got to realize the less followers you have, the more time you have to actually answer the people. Because if you got 1 million followers, there's thousands of comments. You can only answer 100. But if you only have like a few hundred comments and you're answering 100 of them, a lot higher percentage. And so if you're a brand that people are going to have questions about your product, you might want to use those smaller influencers, because they're going to answer the questions in the comments section, and they're going to answer those DMs, and that could be much more helpful for your brand overall. That's why sometimes those niche creators often outperform those bigger creators, just because they fit better and they build that relationship better and answer those questions better than the larger ones can. So what I want you to do, if you're trying to check that content quality, the quality overall, ask them for their media kit, and they'll send it to you with their numbers and their demographics and all those things. But don't just trust them. Go and look at their YouTube. Go and look at their Instagram. Go look at their Facebook, and don't just glance at the page. Look at their posts, read through their posts, read through their blog, watch their videos to see if these things are going to work, and if you feel like it could integrate well in with your products or services that you're offering, because that's going to make a difference. And if you're not sure if things are going well or what's going on, look at things like Social Blue Book, or look at Social Blade. These are websites that track social media. They'll show like, hey, how many views have they had? How many subscribers? How's their growth been? Are they hitting a big point, or was it just a blip on there? Because I won't lie to you, influencer fraud is a thing. And these are ways you can kind of make sure that, hey, are they on the up and up? Because that's one of the big things, is knowing that they're on the up and up and things are okay is a much better chance the content quality they're going to put out for you is going to be better. All right. So I do have videos on influencer fraud. Watch those to help you know what to look out for as a brand when you're looking for influencers. But also we have best practices when it comes to choosing influencers as well. But this one, I just want you to think about looking for their actual content quality and checking it out. So go and look at their videos and their website and make sure everything's on the up and up. Bye from here in the Bahamas.